Hi, I'm Mark. This is my September review for Pisces Sun sign and Pisces rising. We start the month with Mars making an opposition to your ruler Neptune in your first house in Pisces. So you will be affected by this, probably more indirectly than directly, because Mars is in the 7th house. So other people may have a problem, they may have an illness, they may have problems with their energy levels, and this will indirectly affect you because it's in opposition. But with this aspect, it's good to work alone, and it's good to get some detailed work done behind the scenes, so to speak. On the 2nd, we have a coming together of the Black Moon Lilith and the Moon's North Node. And this is happening in your 4th house. Now with this aspect, it's good to start to get to know yourself as an individual, and also to look into the past, not only your past and where you've come from, but your predecessors, your ancestors' past, and see what you can glean, what sort of information you can glean from your past family history. It's also a good chance to look at your security and how you feel secure, and whether you are secure in your current environment in the home area, and if not, then you need to make alterations to this. Now this aspect lasts for 8 days, so there's plenty of time to get to grips with this. And on the 2nd there's also an input from Venus. Venus is in your 8th house, so there could be shared resources, there could be good news about shared resources on this day, and it could improve the home area, home environment. On the 3rd, Saturn makes a positive aspect to the Moon's North Node, so there could be a sign here, there could be something you hear or see that triggers something, that opens up a path for you to follow. Then on the 4th, Mercury makes a positive aspect to Saturn. Now this is a good chance to get things organised within your mind, not only the conscious mind but the unconscious mind as well, so that you can perhaps clear out some of the dead wood, some of the old emotions and feelings that are connected to the past, and let go of them. On the 5th, Mars makes a positive aspect to Pluto for 3 days. Now, Mars is in your 7th house of partnerships, so this is a good time to sit down with your partner, be it business partner or love partner, and set some objectives for the future, because Pluto's in the 11th house of aims and goals. So set some realistic objectives, some things that you both agree on that you can easily achieve going forward. Also, on the same day, there's a square between Venus and Pluto, and this is from the 8th house. Venus in the 8th house, so you could have a very sexual or loving experience during this day. It's very intense emotions. Also, you need to allow changes to happen within a relationship. It's healthy to allow change to keep their relationship fresh. On the 6th, we have the positive aspect from the Sun to Uranus, and Uranus in your 3rd house. This is a day when your mind would be very highly alert, it would be keen to learn as much as possible and take on as much information as possible. Also, it could be a day when you find it a little bit hard to concentrate because you've got so much buzzing around in your mind with Uranus in that 3rd house. But all the same, it's good to get some excitement or try something new or learn something new on a day like this. There's also a positive aspect from Venus to Jupiter, so this is a day when you may meet someone who could be very helpful in the future. It could be a meeting of souls in a way, where you have such a lot in common that you can bounce off each other. On the 7th, we have a new moon. This new moon is in Virgo, your opposite sign. So the focus is on other people. Focus is on partnerships, negotiations and diplomacy, and thinking about others. It's a good time to work with others. It's a good time to get the best out of partnerships, and a good time to start a new relationship, or to redefine an existing one, or to redefine a business partnership. It's good to keep things up to date, keep things fresh, and with the new moon in Virgo you can use your critical eye. It's very good for delving into the detail, and the theme of this moon is to find the divine within the detail. Now it's also good for analysing things. You can analyse with a critical eye so that you don't miss any details. It's very good for signing any documents or going over contracts. And this is also a good time for being compassionate and understanding towards others. On the 7th and the 13th there are two oppositions. The first one on the 7th is between Mercury and Chiron, and this is across the money houses. So there may be an incessant need to talk about money, or there may be a desire to not mention it at all and just ignore it and ignore all confrontations with it. Either way, you could vibe between the two. The idea is not to get obsessive about it. Then on the 13th, there's an opposition between the Sun and Neptune. And Neptune's in your first house, the Sun is in your opposite sign of Pisces. So, whereas with the new moon it was a good time to analyse things and sign things, now is not a time to make decisions, not a time to sign things, because things may not be completely clear and people may not be telling you the whole truth on a day. Things may be a bit cloudy or a bit unsure, so just leave it for the day and probably avoid any confrontations as well, and wait till the day after. On the 15th there is a positive aspect between Saturn and the Black Moon Lilith. Now Saturn is in the 12th house of the unconscious, so you may not realise or understand what's actually going on, but Saturn is trying to restructure your life. He's trying to bring an inner clarity and calmness to your being, and he'll do this in such a way that you will be told in no certain terms what it is you need to change. It could be habits, it could be attitudes, but you will need to change them. And it's good for you to look within to your unconscious and the shadow side, and see where you think you need to make changes, and Saturn will no doubt tell you and help you along the way. This aspect lasts for 14 days, so it could be a slow process, but you'll get there in the end. And towards the end of the 14 days there's going to be an input from Mars, which will help you to really sort things out, and it's a grand trine in air, and we'll tell you about that a bit later. On the 16th there's two aspects that help you with the two things that are running concurrently at the moment. Now the first aspect is between the Sun and Pluto. Now, there's been a lot of action in the 7th house and a lot of aspects to Pluto as well. So the Sun will help bring some clarity onto this and help you set those aims and dreams for the future with your partner. And with the Sun there, you can investigate things, you can go into things more deeply and see where you need to reform or make changes to those aims for the future. Then the second aspect is a square between Venus and Saturn. Now Venus will help with the Saturn aspect that we just mentioned going forward, and Venus will allow you to make a complete appraisal of your life and see where again you need to make vital changes. On the 20th we have a full moon, and this full moon is in Pisces, your sign. This is the most mystical and enchanting full moon. This is the full moon where your intuition will be heightened. So it's a good time to enjoy anything that's of a mystical or intuitive nature. And you'll be very in touch with things as well. You may get dreams or messages coming through at the time of the full moon. If you're born in the last few days of Pisces or have a rising degree that is very late, then you'll be acutely affected by this. Now the full moon obviously falls then in your first house, so this turns focus and attention onto you. With the new moon there's a lot of attention on partnerships and other people, but now it's time for you to do some things that you want to do. Now with the full moon there's a lot of changes that need to be done, and the aspects this month have been showing us that there is a need for a lot of change, not only within yourself but with other people as well. So the full moon can bring out and give the impetus for these changes to be put into place. The energy is very forthright when it comes out. Sometimes it can be a little bit erratic, so you just need to keep a good handle on it and manage it well. On the same day as the full moon we have two positive aspects. Mercury makes a positive aspect to Jupiter, your co-ruler. So this is a good time to bring things or start to bring things out in the open. So you'll be more confident and buoyant to make bold decisions and choices. And also there's a positive aspect between Mars, who's now in Libra, and the Moon's North Node, who's in your 4th house. So now Mars will highlight, put energy into the Moon's Node. So there could be a sign, or there could be a direction that opens up, a door that opens up, and you just need to have the confidence to go through and to take that leap of faith. On the 21st, Mercury makes a square aspect to Pluto. Now, this aspect is going to last for 5 days, which is unusual for Mercury aspect because it usually whizzes by. But because Mercury is slowing down and is preparing to go retrograde on the 27th, this aspect will last for 5 days. Now, because Mercury is going retrograde, the aspect will happen again on the 2nd of October when he goes backwards, and then again going forward on the 1st of November. So this is an aspect that has 3 parts to it, and it may not be resolved until the final part. But whatever you learned during the first 5 days will be repeated later on. So there may be a lesson here, there may be an opportunity, there may be something that comes up that you need to take notice of, because it will advance and it will develop later on. Now just be careful, because with Mercury and Pluto, sometimes what you see isn't what you get, sometimes what you hear isn't necessarily true. So just beware, do investigation, look into things deeply before you make any firm decisions. On the 23rd, Venus wants a new adventure with an opposition to Uranus. Venus is now in your 9th house. Then on the 24th, we have that grand trine I mentioned earlier. Mars makes a trine aspect to Saturn and to the Black Moon Lilith, and those two are already making a trine aspect. So this forms a grand trine in there. This is free flowing energy. This is a good time to get things moving, get things done. This is very innovative. This is very inspirational, this energy, and it brings you power and the ability to make decisions. So you need to tap into this and make the best of it. With Mars there, the Mars energy will be controlled by Saturn, so it will be well managed. It won't be out of control. So things should fall into place nicely with that bit of effort on your part. With a grand trine, sometimes it's easy to sit back and do nothing because it feels so good and so relaxed and so easy. But don't allow that to happen. Make the most of it. You've got 4 days, so tap in and use that energy well. On the 25th, the Sun makes a positive aspect to the Moon's North Node. Now the Sun's just moved into Libra, so he's in that grand trine area of air now. So this is good timing. This is when you can align yourself with your future path quite easily, and it could be a good turn of fortune. Then on the 29th, the Sun makes an aspect to Saturn. So this allows you now to put structure and organisation into your objectives, and this will help you to achieve going forward. There's also a touch of creativity on the day with Venus aspecting Neptune, so your imagination will also be fired up. On the last day of the month we have 3 aspects. The first is an aspect from the Sun to the Black Moon Lilith. This is a positive aspect. The Sun is now in Libra and in the 8th house, so your perception will be increased. You'll be charming, you'll be diplomatic and tactful, so you'll easily be able to get what you want. Then there's a square between Venus and Jupiter, but this isn't like any other square. Most squares are challenging, but this one is hardly challenging at all. And it could be that you meet someone new, someone from a foreign land on this day that could be beneficial to you in the future. And then the last aspect is a rather difficult one between Mars and Chiron. It's across the money houses. So there may be confrontations over money, there may be heated discussions over money, and you may want to avoid these and stave them off for a few days. But there is a positive side to this. You can heal past wounds related to finances. Thank you for watching my September review. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave a message, I'd be glad to hear from you.